Big weekend for World Pools tomorrow specifically, and a man to talk to us all about it is Tom Wood, who joins us ahead of another Sha Tin meeting on Sunday. The first underway at 12:45, 10 races. Good afternoon to you, Tom.
Afternoon, gents.
Tom, Ka-Ying Rising. Did you think he'd be $1.90? There's talk he could get out to $2 on fixed odds.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens tomorrow with the price and the World Pool, and once the computer teams get involved tomorrow as well. It's going to be fascinating. 1:15 Hong Kong Perth time, so can't wait for that tomorrow.
It is. I heard Digby Beecher make some very good comments today around Ka-Ying Rising and how important it is for him to perform, as close to his best as he possibly can, and to run well, and if not win this race, be very competitive, because it is so important for the Hong Kong Jockey Club, isn't it? And I know you guys up there take it almost, take it as like they're one of your own. And when we saw Romantic Warrior travelling last year, you and the Hong Kong Jockey Club and the people in Hong Kong, you get very involved with your horses.
Yeah, and what it does remind me of this time with Ka-Ying Rising, it does remind me a little bit of Romantic Warrior. Yes, Romantic Warrior obviously didn't have a trial when he went and lined up in Australia. He went first up into the Turnbull and got beaten, and he was out to around about $5 or $6 in some markets. I know I got $6 and was laughing all the way to the bank, to be honest, there, because I knew what he was capable of, and even he wasn't at his best when he won the Cox Plate. But what we see with Ka-Ying Rising is he's had that trial. He wasn't at his best in that trial, but if he can bring a high sort of 1.7 time tomorrow, he's still going to be very tough to beat, I think.
Yeah. So it sounds as though you're with him tomorrow, Tom?
Yeah, absolutely. I actually think War Machine could be one of the main dangers to him. The other horse for the Hayes boys. His run last time out was very, very strong. We had a lot of time for Jolly Staff or Chris Waller and James McDonald, and you wouldn't leave out Lady Shenandoah the way she performed last time out. So they are the four, but if he brings his best, he's tough to beat. He wouldn't want to bring what he brought to the trial the other day. Obviously, it's been a little different for him down there. You look at Hong Kong training records here of horses, almost all horses here swim in the pool after their work. You look at John Sizer's horses, they just about exclusively do swim. They don't do a lot of fast work. Some horses swim twice a day, morning and afternoon. He's not had that luxury with no pool at Canterbury Park Racecourse. So that would be the only thing, but they've supplemented that with a lot of walking in the afternoon, and his body weight has come right down since that trial the other day and that work on Monday morning. So I'm not too concerned at all with where he's at. If he brings his A game or something close to his A game, even International Day, he wasn't at his best, and he beat a good field that day. So I'm not worried.
Tom, I noted, and I went back and looked at a lot of trials and a lot of races, and I haven't been able to pick up where he's run with those bandages high above his foreleg, just under the knees. Have you seen that before with him?
Not from memory. Just trying to hark back through my brain of the starts I've seen him. Not that I've seen him in those bandages. No.
So that clocked. You don't put bandages on for nothing. So there's obviously something going on. So that's something that I clocked, and I was with you.
Where did you say them? Where on the leg were they?
They're above the foreleg, just under both front knees. So it's an unusual place. I wanted to talk to a couple of my trainer mates to find out why they are actually bandaged up that high.
Quite a few trainers bandage bumpers and things here in Hong Kong. Some do race with bandages for whatever reason.
Yep. But agreed with you. And as I said, for Hong Kong Jockey Club's sake, let's hope that Ka-Ying Rising performs close to his best or near his best or at his best. What do you think World Pool his price will come into when he races? Because I'm thinking something like $1.50.
Yeah, I think he'll be around about that sort of twos on mark as well. And the computer teams, that's when the series money goes into the pools here in Hong Kong, is the computer teams, the syndicates that get on late with their their algorithms. So those last 2 or 3 minutes of betting will see a lot of changes in the market tomorrow of horses that the market perceives as overs tomorrow. So those last 2 or so minutes, they will be absolutely crucial and telling, I think.
And can we look at the Caulfield Cup through your lens? Any thoughts?
Yeah, Caulfield Cup for tomorrow. So good meeting coming up out of there. It's sort of been sort of a secondary talking point there. There's only one race on the World Pool coming out of Caulfield Cup. Of course, some of the markets for some of the other spring features knocked around today with the favourite coming out.
Dalius,
Yeah, Vauban, Blake Shin, obviously for Waterhouse and Bott draw, obviously drawn wide, but is the early favourite on the tote here in Hong Kong at the moment. Look, I think maybe a horse that could be a little bit of overs is Land Legend. Of course, he ran well in some of these races last season, so I wouldn't rule him out. You've got Aussie Bloodstock again with Royal Supremacy in the race as well. I don't think it's the strongest Caulfield Cup on record, fair to say.
Okay, and we've got a magnificent night again, Whirlpool at Royal Ascot on Saturday night. I think there's four Group 1s at least.
6 races.
Yeah,
6 races in total. And a strong card coming out of there. Of course, it basically signals the end of the flat season coming up over there. It kick-starts off with a 2-year-old race, and then we move into the British Champion Stakes there, and some high-quality runners going around in the sprint stakes there over the 1,200 metres. That comes up for decision at just after 9 o'clock, and then you move into the fillies and mares stakes over the shortened 2,400 metres, and you've got Kalpana lining up there for Andrew Balding and Colin Keane into the Queen Elizabeth stakes, and Docklands, of course, lining up there. Rascallion as well, Field of Gold, so some terrific races coming up there to take us into the Champion Stakes over the 2,000 metres, and Ombudsman is lining up there along with Delacroix, Devil's Advocate down towards the bottom with Mount Kilimanjaro, and then it wraps up with a big handicap over the 1,600 metres with a field of 20 lining up there. So that signals the last basically of the British champion, the British flat season coming up from Ascot Saturday night, to run through till around about 11:40 as well.
I'm pretty sure our current CEO here at Perth Racing, James Aldring, was the man who actually created Champions Day in his day when he was back working for the British Horse Racing. So I need to catch up with James and talk to him about that. So let's now concentrate on Sha Tin and a big meeting there on Sunday.
Yeah, that's to follow up Sha Tin, of course. Some World Pool action out of Brazil as well. Joe Moreira is in action there as well in the Brazilian Derby, and the Gran Premio Latino-Americano coming up as well. So heaps to get involved in before Sha Tin on Sunday. Sha Tin meeting's a strong meeting as well. We've got the first Group 2 race of the season, the Sha Tin Trophy. It's over 1,600 metres, handicap conditions. Voyage Bubble, the 5-time Group 1 winner, is back lining up in that. That is race number 7, but he does have to concede £20 here to some strong up-and-coming horses, the likes of My Wish for Mark Newnham, who's only got £115 on his back, and with only £115 on his back, that means Luke Ferraris cannot ride. So Alexi Bedell is riding, quite a few other jockeys that are getting an opportunity with the handicap conditions, and Voyage Bubble pushing the weights down. So no Hugh Bowman in that race, and no ride either for Zach Purton.
So you got Voyage Bubble, Galaxy Patch. Gee, they've had a few battles over the years, haven't they? Red Line, Beauty Joy. It's a terrific race.
Yeah, it is. Galaxy Patch won this race last year, but it was only his only win on the boards. I think a few races they've sort of ridden him upside down. Would like to see him get back to his best. Red Line, of course, was an upset winner of the Champions Mile back in April when he knocked off Voyage Bubble. My Wish, of course, reopposes from the Derby with the Derby winner Cat Farrar. Yep. I think he's got some sort of a chance as well for Francis Law. He's going to get the perfect run from Barrier 3, very similar to what he got there in the Derby with Craig Williams. So, ultimately siding with My Wish, was absolutely under a stranglehold in that recent trial, and he's had that first up run as well to beat Cap Farrar, and obviously a watch on Happy Together, who gets in well, I think, with the weights and measures of the race for Karis Teton and Voyage Bubble at the top. Matthew Poon, though, he's on a run of 135 out, stretching back to June of last season.
It's a good bit of form.
Yeah, and just before we get your tips, Mark Noonan continues that lead, but Casper Founds has been in a nice hot patch of form over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, he certainly has. Casper had a winning double at Sha Tin last weekend from memory, and they're having a good battle at the top of the Trainers' Championship, meeting number 12 coming up at the weekend. And Casper, of course, has had several winners this season at Happy Valley, but Mark Noonan kicking goals at both tracks. He's had 12 winners. Casper Founds 11, David Hayes, Danny Shum, and Tony Cruz 9, and Jamie Richards sitting there on 7. But Mark's had the 79 runners for the 12 wins. We had him on Racing to Win today. Touching on My Wish, he's got some good chances coming up on Sunday as well. He's got Mission Strike, who have tipped a few times. He's not the worst, over 1,800 metres in the third. Lucky Sam Gora, last winner, patch of times, got a lightweight. My Wish, Infinite Resolve, and Max Q in the last is shooting for 3 victories in a row.
All right, let's get your best bets for Sunday then, Tom. Where do we find your net best?
We'll kick off with, in race number 8, number 4, Infinite Resolve for Mark Noonan. It was an excellent run behind Bob General, who looks one of the good 4-year-olds this season, and I think he can go one better. He's going to get a nice run in transit. That's race 8, number 4, Infinite Resolve for Mark Noonan. Next best is race 5, number 6, Strange Alert. Runner-up last start, that was from a wide draw. He's got the ace draw this time round for Huey Bowman. David Eustace, who got his first win of the season Wednesday night, Happy Valley. He always said, David, that October was going to be the month. He was going to have a slow start, but I think he'll go bang pretty quickly. Strange Alert, race 5, number 6. And one I don't mind at hopefully a price in the 4th is number 6, Golden Knight. Now, this horse has only had a couple of starts, Golden Knight. He's trained by Francis Loy. Vincent Ho riding. He had 3 winners Wednesday. Francis had 2. 4-year-old by impending. Down the track first up, missed the start. Next start was over 70 to 1. Missed the start again, and then was held up in the straight. But once he got clear, he closed off really well, and he made some good, strong ground over the final stages. Gate speed, clearly not his forte, because he's been a little slow out in those trials, but I think there is something there with the Golden Knight. So he's race 4, number 6, but does take on Fun Together at the top, who looks well placed in this, and also Autumn Vibes, who's drawn wide, who ran close up to one we flagged up a couple of weeks ago, Aurora Patch.
Okay, all the information you need is hkjc.com. Fantastic website. Tom, you're a part of that. And don't forget, back into World Pool, we've got it all covered here with Randwick, Sydney, and Saturday night at Royal Ascot. And as you've jumped in with Brazil, that Japanese meeting, is that a World Pool meeting or not? No,
no, there are no Japan races in the World Pool, but we are simulcasting a race there from Japan as well between our races coming up on Sunday at Sha Tin, and that is the main event coming out of Japan. As I flick through my notes here, the Shuka Show, and that of course comes up at around about sort of 2:40, and that of course is for the fillies, the 3-year-old fillies, the Japanese Oaks, coming up at 2:40. So it looks like a field of 18 to line up there in the Japanese Oaks this weekend.
Always great to catch up, Tom. Thanks for that. All the best. Enjoy your big weekend.
Good on you guys. Thank you.